Aloha and welcome to Wisdom Dialogues with Hope Johnson, coming to you from Kohala and my beautiful friend Gail's house on the big island of Hawaii. Yay. It's so fun to be with you. I was just thinking about trying to control how we look to other people. That is definitely one of the ego's devices, something that, if we will try to make our self-image into something that people will reflect back to us what we want to see, and we move in that direction, when we focus in that way, we set people up as if they're the means to getting what we want to see. And that's normally how we use each other. It's like as a means to getting, even when we're telling our stories to them, it's like there's an intention to get some kind of a reflection from them that reflects what we want to see about ourselves. So just in watching that, you just naturally become more authentic in your expression, because you're watching how dishonest with yourself you actually are, and not in a way to be judgmental with yourself. I just laugh at myself. I just laugh about it when I get the perception of trying to manipulate a response from someone, try to manipulate some kind of reaction or reflection that's going to give me what I think I want to see about myself. And see, the thing is, there's no self. It's not like that. It's that there isn't a self. So, it actually feels way better and is way more relieving to just allow the self that you made, the imaginary self, to be itself, just like as it is, to just be as it is. And then, what you can tell by another person's reaction to the self as it is, what you could tell is how you're reacting to that imaginary self. That's all. That's all it is. And when you use another person as a means like that, as a means toward getting what both of you really want, which is to awaken from the dream, then there's real communication. Then there's real connection with everyone. You see, when you're going for getting them to look at you a certain way, getting them to give you a certain reflection that is what you think you want to see about yourself, you're just ignoring the fact that what they're reflecting is what you actually think about yourself. And that's how it is. And what are they reflecting? Look, the person and people and everything that you think you see is contained in a body sense. Okay, everything is contained in a body sense. So whatever reflection they are to you, whatever they're reflecting to you, is what you can sense in your own energy field. So it's not so much what they say to you or what they seem to think about you, it's your reaction to that. Because remember, it's all contained in the sense. That means you do not see them as they actually are. Whatever they seem to be to you and whatever they seem to be doing to you is your imaginary projection onto them. Okay, that doesn't have anything to do with them. It's not as they are. So what you think they did and what you think they said isn't even meaningful. Okay. It's the feeling sense, and the only reason it's meaningful is because it's directional. It tells you whether or not you're thinking in alignment with what's true. So if you're getting a perception of someone who's maybe judgmental of you and you're reacting to that, see, that's the key. You're reacting to that, but you've got to be aware of your reactions to know. And that's a big thing too. People like to hide their reactions from themselves. Oh no, I'm fine, I'm cool. And it's like there's not an awareness of what's going on here, which is a feeling reacting to everything. It's just reacting to everything. So when you get the perception that someone in your view is upset, let's say, notice what that feels like to project that. See, what we tend to do is wall ourselves off, wall our feelings off, so uh, we can't get a sense of those feelings. But we are really getting a sense of the feelings. We're just also hiding it from ourselves at the same time. So it's like we're still getting the sense. Our mind is still registering a threat. Basically, an upset feeling is a threatening thought. So our mind is still registering a threat, but in unawareness of that's what it's actually registering, then we go on masking it. And what happens there is pain gets registered as necessary in the body sense. And it's like it has to encase itself off. It has to be encased in a self-belief, so you don't feel the pain of it, because you're saying to your mind, you're demonstrating, I don't want to feel this pain. So when you get the perception of a person in pain, remember to feel. Okay, like when I got the perception of my son having a really dire moment. He was really in a moment of suffering and feeling really sad and confined. I just make a point to feel him, because that's me. So I just make a point to feel, and whatever words come, those just come as a matter of course. The main thing is that I get the feeling of it. I'm not resisting it and trying to pretend like it's outside of myself, like the problem is outside of myself. No, it's like I taught my son how to think in that way. I taught the whole world how to think in the way it thinks. That's why it's reflecting back to me. It's a total body sense. That's all it is. So once I register that and demonstrate that to my own mind, that I'm only interested in sensing, feeling what this is like, and making a choice, which is really automatic. When you notice that the way you feel is because of what you think, you're automatically willing to forgive that thought, whatever it is. The thought of threat, something's threatened. The thought, making a conclusion, someone is lost, or even someone is confused. Only you can project their lostness, and you can project their confusion. They are not there like that. They're only reporting back what you wanted to see. Okay, because you wanted this thought that you destroyed your reality. You wanted it buried. And where is it buried? It's buried in the world. It's buried in all of the perceptions that you seem to get of things that are physical, situations, people, all of that kind of stuff. What you are doing to yourself is manifest in the world through the world things that you perceive, because you wanted to make it seem like it's coming from outside of yourself, like as if the world is thinking you up. Notice that you're in the center of it. You're in the very center of it. All of your perceiving, what's in the center? Your body sense, really. It seems like it's a physical body, and it has it goes to the bathroom, it gets thirsty. I'm sitting here drinking some tea right now because I seem to get hella thirsty when I'm doing wisdom dialogues. And all of these, even the remedy for thirst, the apparent remedy for thirst, isn't a real remedy. And we don't even have a choice in whether we get the water or wine. So let's say it's wine and it's not, or vodka or whatever. We don't even have a choice in what it is, nor is it meaningful, nor is that meaningful at all. So we put a lot of weight on what we seem to do as if that's meaningful. And boy, is that a cause for suffering. I've experienced a lot of that firsthand. I mean, this is a gripping thought, to put weight on what it is you seem to do and the things that you seem to ingest. For instance, what you watch on TV, all this different stuff. There's all these evaluations of you, and you don't even have to get into whatever other people evaluations they're making of you, because you taught them to evaluate you in the first place. Okay. If you didn't teach people to evaluate you, you wouldn't even get the perception that anyone can see you as a body. Okay. So it's like you taught the world to make these evaluations that aren't true. So, you know, the world is always going to agree with you, because you that's what you taught the world. I mean, until you change your mind and then the world is teaching you something else. You can say you must have changed your mind a little bit, even if you know, if you just think you can hear me right now and you're picking up on anything that I'm saying right here, that means you already changed your mind a little bit about, you know, whether you're qualified to evaluate the world and whether anyone can actually evaluate you. You've already been opening your mind up to this. So it's all up to you. When a person seems to make an evaluation of you that's judgmental, let's say they saw you eating too fast. Okay. I've heard before when I was at a dinner party, and it was like a, you know, real spiritual vibe kind crowd. And someone told me, you know what? I like it when people eat really slow and mindful. I like it when people eat really slow and mindful. And when I got the perception of him saying that to me, remember, I'm saying everything. I'm the one puppeteering this whole thing, you know. So when I heard him say that, I'm like, wow, I sense that. I sense a judgment about that, and it's not like I'm projecting that he's judging. I sense it in myself. um I sense a judgment in that. Like if I were to be caught eating not like that, that would be bad. Like I would be disappointing, you know, I'd be a disappointment. So, you know, it's really just in that thought and just in that feeling reaction where you get an awareness, like, oh, there's a judgment in that. And it's in watching that and watching how it plays out different ways in the scenario that it kind of gets burned out, because you come to the point where you're like, you know what, I don't really need that. I don't really, that doesn't move me. That thought, that kind of thought, that really doesn't even move me. Okay. And, you know, you could make the decision in one moment that thought doesn't really move you. And then, you know, it's kind of like you get to a deeper layer of delusion after that. It's like you cut deeper into these layers that you made, and you'll find it popping up again, and you'll find it popping up again and again. And that's how it is. You just keep on bringing that thought to the truth, you know, through a thought of the truth. And any thought will do, any thought of the truth, you know, like there's only one of us here, for instance, will do, because it seems like there's someone else and someone to judge you. I'm not capable of doing anything. You've never been capable of doing anything. You have a dream that you're doing things, and what you are capable of is pretending to judge. You can't really judge because you're creative and there's no judgment in creation, but you can pretend to judge. Isn't that fun? And when you do that, you put a burden on yourself and you make suffering for yourself. So that's always fun. It's always fun when you notice what it is. All right, let's get to, I have a fun message from a friend. And I'm just going to go through it right here because I'm hanging out with my friend over here. I don't get to these things as quickly. We're kind of like incubating around here. Okay. Okay, fun. Okay, I haven't even seen this message yet, so I'm going to go through it with you guys. Okay, so first word is ugh. Ugh. I hope I'm not annoying you. Okay, that's fun. I just like to start right there, okay? You can't really be annoying anyone. That's an idea that was given, you know, you gave it to the ego to project like that, like you can be annoying. One thing, the way it is for me is if I get the sense that I'm annoyed, it brings me closer to you. It doesn't direct me away from you. If I'm projecting annoyance, it's interesting to me, actually. All right. Every day is something new. I'm not sure if I'm really working on things or not. I'm just responding to what's coming up. It seems to switch up quite regularly. Last night, I was realizing how much self hatred there is actually inside of my mind. Oh, good job. I know. You know what? It's so hidden. That's the thing. People love to say, I love myself, you know? And that's one of the things that you say, and and you don't really mean it. I mean, you don't know what that means. That's why there's projecting. Okay, so the projecting is to teach you where your self-hatred is, so you can be released from it. Okay, because when you're in self-hatred, which is projected as a manifest body and suffering, right? Any kind of suffering, that's self-hatred. Okay. So yeah, you do love yourself, but not in that way, because there's not really someone to love someone like that. It's just love. That's all. There really is a destruction death wish. Yes, good. It's good. I'm glad you see that. It's good, because that's definitely one step. That's a big. It's an important step. Something that you just see at some point, that there's this death wish and there's this wish to attack you. It's played out as wishes to attack other people too. Also, however, I've never felt good enough. I've never felt good enough. Yeah, that's the same thing. Yes. The destruction death wish is the answer to not feeling good enough. See, you're not feeling good enough. It's like you deserve punishment. So that's like the next logical thing. Okay. Also, that it's impossible for me to be enough because I'm just not good enough to get good enough. Yeah. And it dawned on me very deeply that all the ways I feel neglected by another, like feeling not considered, I suddenly realized I'm projecting that. Yes, yes, what a beautiful realization. I'm projecting my lack of consideration for myself. Yep, that's it. That's it. Exactly. So the way it changes, the way your expression changes, when you're realizing that you're projecting that kind of stuff for you, instead of I hope I'm not annoying you, it's like, thank you for answering my questions, or something like that. Thank you for being there for me, or something like that. Because you do see that, like if I'm you, if you're talking to yourself like that, the way you're going to talk to yourself is just in a kinder way, you see. And it's not like I feel like you're being unkind to me or anything like that. It's just that I can sense the unkindness towards self in that. And that's beautiful. I'm happy to take a look at that with you, because that is also coming from me. So when we heal, we always heal together. It's not like one of us gives something to someone else that they didn't have. We're actually accessing the pain that we're projecting in our shared mind, and we're being released from it together. See, so that's another reason why there's no way you're annoying me. And of course, I already knew this, but it just hit deeply all of a sudden. That's right. It's like it on a different depth. You know it on a different depth. It's like it'll take you to a deeper knowing. Just having one of these sudden and you know what? I'll tell you. You're going to take it to even deeper knowings. It's like you think you know it now. You're going to be taken to even deeper knowings too. That's just the way it goes. Because, as you're waking up in the dream, as you're deciding for this to be a beautiful dream of awakening instead of a self-absorbed nightmare, you know, you're opening up to more and more layers. It's like you go through another door, and it's like, you know, you'll find yourself saying, I just had this realization again. I just had this realization again. And, you know, it keeps going deeper. That's how it goes. Once you set your focus on the truth, things just open up for you like that. And you just keep on cutting deeper into it. It's really beautiful. I really don't consider myself unless it's in defense. Perfect. I attack easily. I defend as well, but that's not loyalty. To the ego, maybe. I consider others. I have difficulty considering myself. And that's the thing. You're not even being considerate to others when you're not considering your sense of self. Okay. So that's really what it is. You're taking care of that sense of self. When you're taking care of that, the considering takes care of itself. You don't have to consider yourself or others. You're just taking care of that sense of self. You see what I mean? That's that reacting self. That's that scared self. That's the self that needs compassion from you and not attack. Okay. And that's only in the moment. I defend against perceived attack, but that's not loving. Yes, that's right. Consideration involves, I imagine, listening, being quiet, not judging or fixing or talking, even just listening. That's a good way to put it. That's a good way to put it, because when I'm saying that you're taking care of the body sense, another way of saying that is listening deeply. You're listening deeply. You're listening with your whole body sense. See, you're using your awareness and you're listening to the whole thing. You're not trying to be anything. So you can drop all that trying to be not judging, or trying to not talk, or talk or not talk. Okay, trying to listen or not listen. Basically, the listening is deeper than that, because it's going to what's being perceived in the body sense. That's what allows you to get released from it. That's the forgiveness. Okay, when you're just willing to embrace the body sense, that means you're not pursuing the thoughts that justify that upset feeling right now. And in that, your mind is being corrected, not of your own accord, through your willingness to forgive what you made. Okay, I think it involves that and compassion. Yes, there's a lot of compassion in this. Then I realize I know nothing of either of those things. Perfect. It's good that you don't need to. Hope is sweet to herself, she says, and I love that. She sees sweetness in others' expressions always. Well, I wouldn't go that far with the always, okay? Because I still need to see bitterness in expression. That's why that's why I'm perceiving a body, okay? That's why I'm having a perception that I can talk to you through this body. It's fucking funny, okay? So I definitely need to see bitterness in people. And the thing is, once I get the perception of the bitterness, I'm willing to see that it's coming from myself, and in that it gets healed. So that's why it's a happy dream of awakening. I love it when I get the perception that there's bitterness in another person. It makes me laugh because I know I'm projecting it, and that's just funny. Well, it's dry here. I'm feeling it. Okay. And you know, that's fun too, because there isn't a here and there isn't a dry, but the mind is so powerful to make illusions. I'm getting that sense. I'm getting the sense that I'm drinking more liquids. I'm getting the sense that I'm like, oh, my skin feels smaller. So that's fun. Okay. She says, that's so sweet. Thank you. Yes, that's how I feel. It's kind of like that. It's kind of like an expression of how I feel when I get an upset feeling. It's like, oh, thank you, you know. She says it all the time. Meanwhile, I can't figure out how to be sweet with those I love, let alone myself. Yeah, good. It's good to notice that. The only reason, you know, the only reason I would be more loving with myself is that I've seen more. That's all. I've just seen more. And now you're on a path of seeing, and you're going quite quickly. You're going quite quickly now. So it's kind of like, it's something that, your perception of me right now is like a premonition for how you're going to be with things. You're going to be like that with things. It's just that you kind of have to go through the fire with it, because this is your suffering that you made. And you kind of have to go through this suffering that you made. It's like when you go through it with awareness, though, the challenges are made light for you. The challenges are made light. So it's like you're not being sweet with yourself. You can take one step back from that. I've talked a lot about detachment before, where you just take one step back from that one that's not being sweet with herself, because you're unlimited awareness. You don't have to stop anywhere. So you take a step back from the one that's not being sweet with yourself and see if from that perspective you can be in awe. That's so sweet. If not, take one more step back. See what I mean? Because anything that's not being sweet is what you made up. That is not you. That is not you. You're the witness of it. So the question is, what will you witness to? Will you witness to this self that's having a hard time being sweet, as if it's a reality? See, are you going to make that illusion true? Are you going to make any illusion that there's a part of you that can't forgive true? See, you're unlimited awareness. So from any perspective, you can take a step back. And what it takes to be able to take a step back is one thing and one thing only. It's always the same: forgiveness. Okay, so you're able to forgive what you're just thinking right now. You're just thinking, I have zero idea what being sweet is like. You're just thinking that right now. So it's like forgiveness right there. How does that make you feel? Notice how it feels. If it feels like that sucks, it is a candidate for forgiveness. And you have all it is a simple choice to forgive. You have all the power in that. I have zero idea what being sweet is like, to be, give or receive. Ask me to be quiet, open, relaxed, peaceful, listening, not thinking, fixing, talking, doing, judging, reacting, panicking, and I'm not sure I can. You can't. I'll tell you that right now. In that sense, because you're not capable of any of that stuff in the first place. Thinking, fixing, talking, doing, judging, reacting, panicking. You are not capable of those things. Okay? So you can't change it. All right? It changes automatically when you're forgiving. Okay? Forgiving what you're making. You have that ability anytime, any place. You are, that's your creative power. That is your creative power. So when you're thinking that you're not supposed to not think or not fix or not talk or not do or not judge and not all the stuff, you're thinking you can actually do that shit. You're projecting right onto yourself that you can actually do that shit. You can't do that shit. You can only get a perception that you're doing it and then judge over the perception. She says, yay. Okay. I'm thinking maybe you got it there. You can only project right over your projection that you're doing things. Okay. I'm not sure what the loving thing to do. No, you do not know what to do, and that's good. That's good. That way you could just be aware of what you seem to do. And you could forgive whatever you're projecting about it. I ate too much, for instance, right there. You're attacking yourself all day. So you're full of opportunities. So hooray. There's so many opportunities. Even if you miss opportunities for half the day, the other half of the day, you're like, you got so many opportunities. It's fabulous. Or, just a couple seconds here and there, even just like you notice, wow, I just attacked myself by saying I ate too much. And then that's it. You don't need to go any further than that. How does that feel? Do I want that? No, obviously it feels like shit. That's really all it is. You're making a decision. You're going, that's what it is. Do I want it? No. Okay, good to know. And the no, I don't want it is automatically when you're aware of what you're feeling. How does it feel? Would I keep this? No. So I don't need to bend on it either. Don't need to pursue any thoughts about it. Actually makes no sense. Okay. I'm not sure what yes, okay. Sometimes I think to myself, well, what would I want from a friend if I were them right now? Most of the time, I don't know. Yeah, you don't know. You don't know what the correction is. That's why. So my last one that I did in person, it was about forgiveness being the correction. You don't know what the correction is. That's true. And so the forgiveness is the correction, because the correction, whatever, however it needs to be corrected, will be done for you. That's not up to you. The closest thing I've given is sacrifice. Yeah, sacrifice is the opposite. That's like the counter to love. It's the opposite of love. It's fear. Yeah, that's what sacrifice is. So, yeah, a lot of people think love is sacrifice or love requires sacrifice, but that's not the case. And that's how we've been taught. That's how we wanted to be taught. That's why we taught people to teach us like that. Okay. The kind of love I felt it wanted still wants me to change, and I'll never be enough. Yeah, good to see that, because you'll never be enough for the ego, because you always need the ego as long as you're not enough in your own mind. Once you know that you're enough, you have no need for ego. I don't know what compassion feels like. I know pity, but not true love, sweetness, compassion. Could you speak on that? If it's not seemingly in me, can I still find it? If I wonder, will I someday know love? Oh yeah, for sure. You're looking right in the direction of it. It's going to dawn on your mind, no doubt about it. Because it's you probably heard this before. It's kind of like a cliche, I think, by now, but it's seeking you as much as you're seeking it. Okay, so it's like, as you're seeking love, it's seeking you too. And I don't mean seeking love in the way of a personal love. See, I don't mean seeking love I mean the love that you are. It takes turning away from the world and turning toward the sense, the body sense. Okay, the senses also pick up all this perceptual stuff. Like I could feel the air on my arms right now. I got some little tickles around my body where some kind of little insect maybe took a little bit of blood or whatever, flesh or whatever they needed to sustain themselves off of me. I could feel my hair, and I could hear things. I could hear different birds, and I could smell things, and but none of that stuff is really meaningful. What's really meaningful is the feeling sense. Okay, that's always in flux. So I turn my attention back to the feeling sense, and that's what's more interesting to me. And you could say that's why I don't find myself fixating on the little itchy thing or whatever. It's just I turn my attention back to the inward sense. Any outward sense I only use to turn my attention back to the inward sense. And yes, when you're turning your attention like this and you're getting the first realizations and you start to see, wow, how freaking hateful I am. Like all the time, like almost everything that comes to mind is this hateful thing that comes to mind. Be glad. Rejoice that you're seeing that, because you're seeing that is the undoing. That's the beginning of the end of it. That's the undoing of it. You can only be so mean to yourself in your awareness. See, before you were not, you were hiding it from yourself. Now you're making it known to yourself. It was always in your awareness. It was always being registered in the mind as you're a mean ass person and you deserve mean ass treatment. That's how it's been registering in the mind. But now when you're going through it and you're aware of what it's doing, you're not registering it the same. Your mind's not registering it in the same way. It's actually getting burned out in this way. See, and you know, you can take that as a shortcut. It's a really good shortcut. You know, it'll cut through some things really quickly. And you can also doubt it. If you doubt, if you say, no way could it be this easy, no way could it be this simple, there must be more that I have to do, then you're making yourself go around. You're making yourself go around in circles. Okay. It is that simple. It really is that easy. Okay. It is that easy. It's as easy as allowing yourself to view it, how you're attacking yourself all day long, just allowing yourself to view it. That's how I got to be sweet with myself. And you know what? I still get the perception of myself attacking myself. It's just not nearly as prevalent like all day long anymore, right? And when I get the perception of myself attacking myself, I'm glad about it. I'm not using it to evaluate myself. No, I'm using it for healing. That's the difference. If I'm using it to evaluate myself, I'm using it to project illusions. That's not what I'm trying to do. Okay, some people want to come in and participate on Wisdom Dialogue. So I'm going to let them in here. Approve. Okay, you guys, I let you in. I apparently have settings where you can't participate unless I let you participate. I don't know why it's set like that, because I just automatically let everyone participate. Thank you for coming on. I appreciate you. Okay. I'm also curious if you are experiencing the happy dream. Yes, that's right. So yes, I am experiencing the happy dream, or you could say I'm living the happy dream. And that is in, you know, it's really simple. It looks just like a regular life. It's really, you know, it's really simple. It's just that the dream, people, things, circumstances, everything that arises in the dream, it's being used for healing. That's what's happy about it. That's what I mean when I find myself attacking myself. I'm glad about it. Okay. It's not like I'm using it to evaluate myself and say, oh, you shouldn't be attacking yourself. I'm not really capable of this kind of stuff. I'm only really just having a dream of it. So when I'm aware that I'm attacking myself, and especially when I'm aware that I'm attacking myself and I'm smiling at it, that's where it gets resolved and it opens me up to more sweetness. See, that I'm even being sweet with the perception that I'm attacking myself. I'm even sweet like that. Like, aw, that's so cute. That's so cute. You know, sometimes one of the ones that I hear in my mind that I love, and you know, and it's true in a sense. It's true in a sense. It's just not like in a way that's condemning me. You know, it'll say I'm a fucking idiot, and there's a tone, but there's a tone to it. So it's not so much in the words. It's like I could take those words, I'm a fucking idiot, and they feel so good to me. I love it. That just feels good. I love being a fucking idiot, you know, but you can take it as too, if it's a different tone, it's like, gosh, Hope, you're a fucking idiot. Like, you know, like it's guilty to be like that, you know, but you know, that's the thing. It's like, I'm so glad that this self I made up with the ego is just a fucking idiot. It's not anything that's meaningful, and it's my idiot, and it's and it needs my love. It needs my sweetness. So it's like I'm not trying to protect what I made from being seen as an idiot. Even it's okay with me. You know, it's like I can agree with you if you come up to me and tell me, you know what, Hope, you're a fucking idiot. I'm gonna go, I agree with you. You know, and you know, and it feels good to me. So thank you. And you know, if you want to communicate with me something about how, you know, I'm deficient in some way or something like that, I'm happy to hear that too. It's fine. It's fine. I just feel it anyways. So it doesn't really matter what it is. I just feel it. I feel the resonance of it. That's all. and I watch my reactions. And if I'm having a reaction that hurts, I know where to send the compassion. It's right there. And you were asking, Cora, about compassion, and basically that is the same as forgiveness. It really is. I mean, it's saying it's saying it in another way, but look at it like this. You get the perception that you're attacking yourself, and all of a sudden that's okay with you. That's forgiveness. See, and you see how that's compassion too, because you just stopped attacking right there. You let the attack be okay with you, and then you just stopped attacking. So it's like that's where it comes in. Really, the attack is unforgiveness. It's just unforgiveness. So the attack isn't so much the thought, because the thoughts don't have any power without your belief in them anyways. So it's not so much the thought, but it's your believing that thought and holding on to it. That's the unforgiveness. So it's like, I'll never be good enough. All the ego thoughts, I'm unworthy. You use your perception of someone else, like maybe you would use your perception of me. If you made me out to be someone who's sweet to themselves, you might use your perception of me to attack yourself, like you're not good enough, when really, if you're getting a perception of me, that's just a symbol that that's your potential. And if you're getting a perception and you're going yes to that, like I would love to be that sweet with myself. That's like a premonition for you of how sweet you're going to be with yourself. It's just a matter of time, and time is only an illusion. So it could be cut through very quickly. The reason it doesn't get cut through very quickly is our stubbornness. Okay. And it's fear too of the unknown. Because as soon as we made the thought up that we destroyed our reality, immense fear ensued. And then this move to cover up the fear, and that's really still what's going on. It's this need to cover up this intense, deathly fear. It's like this deathly fear. I touch on it all the time because I love to do that. I love to access that fear. It's really defended against. It's well defended. It's well armored, you could say, with belief systems that prevent us from touching on that fear, because it just seems like the total end of everything. It's like it's like the void. Okay, it's like this void that we're resisting so hard. Okay, we're spending so much energy to resist this void, and the void is what we set up as if that's all that there is. That's not true, though. That's not the truth. Our reality is not a void. Our reality is love. Okay, and we cannot conceive what reality is while we're having a perception of this world. No one can conceive what reality is, but it's something like, when you look upon a brother or sister, all you see is light, and it's not a light that hurts your eyes. Okay, so it's like it's more of a sense than using some fake eyes to apparently see, to think we see. We really think we see. We're making interpretations with these fake eyes. So we don't have this false way of seeing. In reality, we only see, we don't perceive, but we see light. We just see light. And it's not like it's hurtful at all, because we are light. That's what we are. And that's how we communicate. And it is not boring. Okay, that's a concept that we came up with. So that's another defensive mechanism. People think that there's only dreaming and that's it. Okay, that sounds exhausting and boring to me. Totally exhausting and boring, because if we're just dreaming, we're just coming up with the same scenarios over and over and over again. Okay, and that's what we've been doing for millions of lifetimes already. And we want to be done with dreaming, but most of us don't know it yet. When I say most of us, I mean that coming from my mind, because I'm getting the perception that most people aren't willing in this way. And I know that's coming from me. See, at the same time, I know it's coming from me. And boy, does it look like I got a long way to go. Okay. But I don't believe it. I don't believe that. I know I'm projecting the whole world and it could go in an instant. It could just disappear in an instant. And the thing is, when the world disappears for you, it's not like these all these people that you know disappear for you. No, they're all present with you. They're all because they're not really here. This is the world that's imagined. Remember, this is all imagined. So everyone that you imagined here is real in the real world. They're not real as the way that you made them up, though. And that's the way you're perceiving them through the body senses. All the circumstances you have with them, all the interactions, those are 100% made up by you. Okay. That's me. Okay, good. So if you're not spending a bunch of energy worrying about those other people that you perceive, like I don't get the perception that I need to reach all these people in the world who have a perception like this world is real and they're suffering over this world is real. I mean, one of my sons is totally resistant to the idea that he's making this up and that everything's an illusion. Very, very resistant to that. It's like, okay, when he comes around me asking for something, then something might come out, but I'm not over there browbeating him, trying to get him to realize that the world isn't real. I just notice my reactions to that. That's all where it is. It's not like I need to go out and tell people, hey, you guys, wake up. The world isn't even real. You're making all of this stuff up. You're making all of your suffering. But then again, I might feel myself and perceive myself being moved in that way. And that's totally okay. I mean, a lot of the times I am just like writing on social media and coming on wisdom dialogues and stuff like that. And I'm really grateful that people want to know. I'm really grateful that there seem to be people who want to know. And at the same time, if there don't seem to be people who want to know, that's not a problem for me either. Because it's all in my mind. It's all in my projection. So you guys, as far as I'm concerned, you're already 100% healed. You don't need anything from me. You help me. Let's put it that way. You help me. That's why it feels kind of weird to me, but it's not, there's not anything wrong with it. Don't think I'm saying anything wrong with it. Like charging money for helping people heal, because we heal together. It's not just like I have something that I can give you that's this and it's because we heal together. So whatever you're going through and you're reflecting back to me, we're in this together. Like we're really into this together. Okay. We have AC, Amy, yay. So how do you respond to someone showing up in your awareness who is convinced you are a fucking idiot? You notice any trigger, breathe through it, and it's coming from you. Oh yeah, I mean, at this point, I've had so many people reflect back to me that I'm a fucking idiot, because I put myself out there like that. For one, I love it. I love it. I mean, when I was like in my 20s, I would go do karaoke very badly just so I could get people projecting to me that I'm a fucking idiot, because I love it. That sense of embarrassment, that I was just like always curious about that. Like, what the fuck is that? Why do I care if they think I'm an idiot? Right. So yeah, I don't get too triggered about it anymore, because it's just like something that I've been curious about, and I love it. Now, on the other hand, when I get a perception that my husband looks at me like I'm disgusting, I get a perception like that, I'm like, and if you ask my husband, he'd say, I never look at her like that. And I know it's true too. Like there's no it's just me projecting that, because I get like this disgust thing coming up for myself, and it's just me projecting that. But that's the way it plays for me, not like someone thinking I'm an idiot. I'm used to that. That's why I say, yeah, I agree with you. Notice any trigger, breathe through it, and you know it's coming from you, but they are not interested in any other dialogue except entertaining guilt. Okay, I see what you're saying. So they want to talk to you about how you are a fucking idiot and how terrible you are, and that's the dialogue they want to entertain. Great. Okay. For me, and this isn't about what you should do or what you should say, but for me, when I'm getting the sense that someone really wants to tell me what an idiot I am and why and everything like that, I'm open to it. I just don't have anything to say about it. See, I get this all the time. I love it because I get that kind of thing, like from my son. For one, he'll come and he's got this way of just like pushing a button right in the right way. And I'm like, okay, good, okay, thanks, and I'll just listen to whatever that is, and I won't disagree. I won't disagree with them. Like they're right, in the sense that whatever whatever I'm feeling right now is what I need to feel right now. So they're giving me exactly what I need. And I don't need to teach them anything. I do not need to correct them. See, it goes back to that forgiveness and correction thing. I don't need to correct them. All I need is forgiveness right now. Okay, so then I can listen to whatever it is that they have to tell me. Like for instance, my son came to me just yesterday, and he wanted to tell me that he's suffering a lot right now because of me telling him that the world wasn't real when he was a young boy. When he was a little boy, he would tell me, Mom, I'm going through this and I'm going through this. And so I go, look, I don't know exactly how I said it. I don't even remember it. Probably, look, the world isn't real. You don't have to suffer over these things. And I guess he, from his perspective, he was really pissed about that. Because he thought that he really needed to go see someone like a counselor and get some drugs and stuff like that so that he would feel better. So I'm just like listening to the story that's being played and feeling the sensation in my body's energy field. I definitely sense resistance because in the story, I'm the mom who was neglectful, who didn't do what I was supposed to do. So in that story, there's a sense of, this agitation and stuff. And, I've heard the story from him before. I've heard it many times. And I go, okay, so I've heard this story many times. And what is it? What do you want? Like, what is the reason you're telling the story? Like, what do you want to get out of the story? And he's like, okay, I won't say it. I won't say it anymore. I won't say that to you anymore. And I go, no, it's not that. It's not that. It's just that you're saying it because you're thinking a lot. You're thinking it a lot. So it's good that you're saying it so we can see that you're thinking it a lot. But what is it doing for you? Like, what is that thought doing for you? How is that helping you to get anything? Is it helping you in your career? Is it helping you for different things, And then we kind of like look at it together so we can see it, once I notice, I can see that I can sense the defensiveness in my body's energy field, but that doesn't mean that I have to act it out. I might act it out. I might partially act it out. I don't know, but I'm just curious. I go into it really curious, like what can unfold. And, I just saw the whole thing like really open up, like it opened up to another layer of a willingness in him to release how he thinks he's been victimized and how he's made himself into something that's vulnerable, like right now being vulnerable to I guess insanity. That's basically what he's saying. It's like right now I find my mind going to all this insane stuff, and I go, okay, well, the thing I've been telling you since you were a little boy, and that you've really been resisting the whole time, that the world isn't real, that's actually the solution for all of that insanity that you're talking about. And probably a reason why you would manifest a mom telling you something like that so young. It's like you were already ready to receive something like that. So yeah, it was kind of like a vibe like that. I don't know the exact words, but it's kind of like a vibe like that. And I noticed like both of us just reach a deeper layer of, communication. bringing these pains that we project up to the surface. No one's done anything. There is no parent and child thing like this. There is no nothing like this. There's only this moment. And we're all projecting that somehow we've been harmed. Somehow we've been harmed. So you see how much a mind is going to expand once there's relief from that projection. I mean, the first one, probably the biggest one for people, is the parent one. Like, everyone has a secret belief, or maybe even not so secret belief, that their parents fucked them up in some way. You know, even though you taught your parents how to be with you the whole time, you know, it seems like your parents taught you, and it seems like your parents formed you, but it's actually the other way around. You formed your parents. You formed the whole world to pretend like it's teaching you what you already taught it. See? So that's what it's really like. Coming from you. Pursue that energy. Well, when you say keep them around, okay, so that's talking from the ego. They're not separate from you. So what's going on here, and why you get that kind of question, is that you've made them out to be separate from you. Since they're talking to you like that, since they're being rude, since they're being mean, you've made them out to be separate from you. You don't have a choice in it. You could find yourself completely bouncing them from your life. Maybe they're blocked on Facebook, if that's a thing for you, or you ask them not to come over anymore. But all that stuff, that's surface stuff. So what you want to do is communicate with them from the level of mind. Forget about all the surface shit. Okay, so even the question, do you keep them around? That's not up to you. That's not even up to you. It's a distraction. That's a distracting thought. So the thought pops up, do you keep them around? Immediately get the sense. What is that sense like? What's that feeling sense? You know, get that feeling sense and notice what it is. It's like, it's really asking you, will you forgive this? And really, it's that thought. Do you keep them around? Can you forgive that illusion that you have a choice that if you're going to keep them around or not? I mean, really, that's where the relief is right there. You don't have to think about that anymore. Boom, that thought's gone, right? And when it comes back around again, you can smile at it because you know you don't have any choice in that. Do you tell them you are not interested and move on? You don't have a choice in that either. See? Be curious about it. What will come out of you? What will come out of your mouth? Okay, at one point I got the thought, do I tell my son it's time for him to move out? Do I tell him to move out? I looked at that thought, I gave it a smile, poof. It's not up to me. See? Simple. It's really, really simple. And the ego's super duper tricky, huh? Isn't that fun? It's fun. It's like a game. So yeah, that's why it's a happy dream of awakening, because it's such a game with the ego. It's like, do I do this? And yeah, see how it makes it as if there's something for you to agonize over. It's something for you to even have a question about, right? But you're willing to see it. Yeah, that's the thing. Your willingness to see it is so fun. It's just, it makes it like an enlightening game. Every time you get tricked, you get more enlightened. It's wonderful. Whenever you get tricked, it's like, oh, I'm so glad I got tricked, because now I can see even deeper what this is. You come into a deeper sense of compassion. You can't make yourself sweet. You can't make yourself be sweet. You know why? Because the methods you made up with the ego for making yourself be sweet are these controlling methods that don't work, because the controlling itself is not sweet. So it'll never work. You can only be sweet when you're willing to lay down all of your ideas. all the unsweetness. You're just willing to lay down that unsweetness. See, the ego is going to have you trying to figure out what to do with this unsweetness. But it's really just like, it's more like a step back. That's how I see it too. It's kind of like taking a step back, since, you know, I'm limitless awareness. That means it doesn't matter what level the confusion goes to. I just take another step back. Like, it starts out as, oh, it seems like someone's being mean to me. Okay, a step back from that. And then it's like, oh, what's wrong with me that I'm projecting someone's mean to me? Okay, a step back from that. And it's like, oh, I can't get out of this. Why can't I get out? Take another step back? You know, and it's infinite like that. You know, you just keep on getting a view from a higher perspective. And that step back, it's really forgiveness of that thought that's manifesting right now. So see how it's just a still, I'm talking about the same thing. I'm talking about forgiveness once again. It just has a lot of different names because there's a lot of different ways to looking at it, and seeing it from different angles before it clicks for people. Okay. And apparently I'm being used to help make this click for people. Okay, that's not a choice that I have. I'm just being used for that. And I don't mind. I think it's super fun, and I will have a super fun kick-ass time no matter what I seem to be doing. So it's not like I need to do this either. As long as it's fun, and especially, you know, I get reflections from you guys telling me how much it helps you. I really like when I get that sense, and I know that's also coming from me. It's like, I know I'm on the right trajectory too. It's like, I can sense the relief with you, and I celebrate with you. And, you know, in that, it's like, that's the greatest joy for me. That's the greatest joy, to just sense relief. Sometimes it seems like it's coming from another person. A lot of the times that's the case. They seem to get relief when they're around me, and that is the biggest blessing ever. And, you know, there's some people who seem to be really tense around me. And I notice too, when I'm in a situation where there's someone who doesn't want to hear from me, I noticed that there's a sense of a block, like nothing's coming out. I actually got asked, or I didn't even get asked. It was so funny. People were talking about my name, and they were talking about what they thought, whether they thought hope was good or bad. Like, whether it was kind of like a little friendly debate going on whether hope was good or bad. And I was not even in on it, but I was just standing there, and I was like, well, is anyone interested in hearing what I think about it, since it's my name? And then yes, and then I couldn't talk. I just couldn't speak at all. And I was just like standing there, and I was like, nothing's coming out. And laughing and stuff, you know. And then eventually we were all just laughing about it. And the woman, it was funny because the woman who was like really enthusiastic about what I might say, she was really excited about it. She kept on blurting things out, but I could see that I was using her to blurt things out so that I could stall, because nothing was coming. And so she was like saying that it was her fault. Sorry, my fault. I need to be quiet. And then she starts pinching her lips like that to make herself be quiet. And the whole time I'm looking at this going, oh my God, I'm just making this up. I just used her to be like, she was the one fucking it up. And she's like talking over me so that I can't talk, but really nothing's coming out. Like, if something's going to come out, it'll just come out. So eventually it just came out, and they were like, whoa, that's deep. I forgot what I said, but I'll share it with you guys right here. Anyways, just because, you know, it's good to know. So when it comes to hope, there's the ego's kind of hope, and that's where you hope for things in the world. You hope you get a lot of money. I hope my battery won't die before I'm done talking here. That is a real possibility. Apparently. Things in the world, that kind of hope, that's like ego hope. Okay, it's going nowhere. It means nothing. It's just absolutely nothing going nowhere. But when you hope that this world isn't real and that you made it all up, you're going to be given exactly what you need to let that be revealed to you. It's actually going somewhere. It's actually going somewhere good. It's going to awakening. It's going to the place where you never left. It's leading you out of delusion. It's your last journey, let's say. So that's the thing. It's like you can hope with the ego, or you can hope with the spirit. If you hope with the ego, that's going nowhere. So for me, I just noticed like the thought that, oh, I hope my computer battery doesn't die. I just noticed that is a meaningless hope, actually. It doesn't actually matter to me whether the computer battery dies. It doesn't actually matter to me whether a body dies, because nothing dies. That doesn't make me kill. That doesn't make me murderous. It actually makes me sweet. See, the ego would have a different view on how things are. But it's like you better really care and really hope that no one dies today or something. You better hope that when your son goes out in that car that he doesn't die, right? You better hope that he comes back alive, right? None of those hopes go anywhere because they're completely meaningless. It's a dream, and however the dream goes, it only goes in a way that it's maximally beneficial for everyone. Okay, so there's no any of those false hopes are just false hopes. That doesn't mean I try to stop myself from thinking, I hope the computer battery doesn't die. It's just that I don't get myself associated with that. I just smile at it. I don't get myself associated with that. I don't get my emotions all caught up in it. Like, oh God, oh, whatever. I even just felt the energy of that. It's like, whoa, I was like, whoa. It's almost like woozy. Woo. So it's an energetic, you can say it's a sensual journey. Especially the second phase of it, the part of the journey where you're dreaming the happy dream, which is the dream of awakening. It's a sensual journey. It's all through the senses. So it's like I sense a tone. There's a tone to the interactions. It's not so much on the surface. I go to the store. I seem to want to buy something at the store. I know that's not really the reason I'm there. All these things that are on the surface are just like props that are being used to call things up, to conjure things up. It's just like nothing at all. So I go in it in a sensual way. That means I go into Long's, for instance. I went to Long's today in a sensual way, to the cashier in a sensual way, because it's not to be rejected or resisted, just regular ordinary life. It's not to be rejected or resisted. It's to be completely embodied. So listening deeply, listening with the whole body. It used to come to me, the words, body of wisdom, body of wisdom, body of wisdom. And then it occurred to me, there is no body. Why am I getting this body of wisdom thing? And it's body of wisdom because it's a body sense. And all you know through the body sense is how you feel. And that is so much, because if you don't feel in alignment with it, it's not for you. That means you can just deny any truth to that thought and that belief. That means it's not for you. So that's all the wisdom is there. It's revealing to you all the time what's true and not true about you. It's all in that body sense. And that's what we're always trying to resist. So today I spent probably 2 hours, probably an hour on each lower leg, on the lower, what is it called? The calf area. So I noticed tightness in the calf. So I'm like, hooray. I love it when that happens. So I noticed tightness in the calf. So I took the wooden block and I stuck it underneath my calf, and I just sat there like that, and it kept on getting to deeper layers and deeper layers. And it's so symbolic for me of what's going on in the mind. I'm just like releasing it and letting more and more go. And the funny thing is, it's so weird. I've had massages for 4 hours at a time for many, many, many years. And, my thought was, eventually we're just going to get all the tension out, right? We're going to get all of the tension out eventually if we're like massaging it all the time. No, it keeps on going, and it's weird. It'll show you that it's an illusion. It'll show you that because it's like you keep on going through these layers. You can feel yourself going through the layers, but there are more. And it's like my body isn't even that big to have that many layers, right? It's a tiny fucking body actually. But it's like they're not actually physically there. They're just popping back up because they're projected, their layers projected in the mind. That's why you can have everything completely, well, you can't really, I've tried it before, but you can have a lot of stuff all massaged out, right? And then it's just going to be projected right back on again because it is being projected from the mind. But that doesn't mean it's not helpful to see through layers. When you access the pain in the body sense and you're willing to be released from it, you are getting released mentally. That's where it counts. It doesn't really count in the body sense. The body's nothing. Okay. But you do sense it as if it's in a body, and you do access it through the sense of a body. Okay. So it's not like the body is to be neglected in a sense. And that's where I notice a lot of people going with it in spirituality and in A Course in Miracles and stuff. And when I say a lot of people, I'm only projecting these people so I can get this experience, so I could see something. They're fine. They're not even doing anything. They're not even on a healing journey. None of us are. We're just sleeping. We're just asleep in a dream. Okay. So I get the perception of a lot of spiritual teachers just completely neglecting the body, just completely neglecting it, when the body sense, and there is no body. There is a body sense though, and the body sense is what you are using to perceive and project the world. So we're using this body sense for that, and it's telling us all the time like how we're hurting ourselves. And what we tend to do, and especially for people in roles of spiritual teacher, is get into a place where we become like we become as if we already know it all and we don't have anything to learn. And so we already know that this body is meaningless, and so we should just ignore all of its symptoms and just ignore it. Ignore the pain, ignore all of the things about it. The thing is, the body sense is harboring, it's like the body sense is where the pain is projected. Let's say it's harbored in the mind, but it's projected onto the body sense. So when you're awake to whatever messages are coming through that sense, you can see exactly where the compassion needs to be, the forgiveness needs to be allowed. You can see, okay, that's where it is. Like say you get a sense of indigestion, right? Indigestion, but you are ignoring the indigestion, so you're still eating. Well, the indigestion is a sign that you're not digesting something right now, in your mind. Like something needs to be digested in the mind, right? The body is a complete reflection. So something needs to be digested in the mind. One way to cover that up and to ignore that is to feed, just eat. We're really just eating our thoughts. There's no such thing as food. We're really just eating our thoughts. So it's a complete reflection. So if you're looking at it like that, what am I using this for? How am I using this to cause pain? You'll never find yourself in excess of anything. I heard one Indian doctor, he was talking about aging, and he said, some of the things that are aging, it was always excess, whatever it is. Well, what is excess? Excess is anything where you're using it to avoid, or you're using it to build anxiety. I talked about that a couple of weeks ago, about how I was using a habit to build anxiety. And, and then once I saw I'm using the habit to build anxiety, I cannot use it to build anxiety anymore. It's just like that. But we're programmed, and we programmed ourselves to be unaware of that, to make ourselves unaware of what we're using things for. So not realizing that we're using food. So even the other day when I was talking with my son, we were going, okay, well, let's see, when you start spinning out like that and all those dark thoughts, what is something that you can use to kind of like tell you, okay, I need help and I'm open for help? Because that's how it is. When your mind starts spinning like that, you need help. And all you need to do is acknowledge that you need help and you're open to the help, and it comes. But you're believing your thoughts. So again, you see how that's forgiveness, but you're believing your thoughts, so you can't receive the help. So my son said what I normally do to help soothe myself is eat. I eat a bunch of food, and then I get really guilty about that, and I feel really shitty about that. So I'm like, okay, well, what's something else that maybe feels good that can just be a symbol to your mind that you need help right now, so that you can be open for help. And he's like, I don't know. And then like an hour later, he said, Mom, it just occurred to me what it is. I'm going to get some sparkling water. So it's like when something ensues, when some pattern ensues, if there's something, you already put in motion to remind yourself, that's helpful too. Now, when it comes to surface things like that, you don't really have a choice. I'm just speaking to consciousness and letting you know that, hey, there's lots of possibilities, and they just become known to you when you're willing to forgive. So if you have something like that, like, maybe that appeals to you too. Okay, I got these bottles, maybe I got these nice bottles of sparkling water, and or whatever it is to you, and I'm going to put them over here. And then whenever I notice a mind spinning, I'm going to sit down with the sparkling water and I'm going to take a little sip. Now, what I find myself, is going and getting a wooden block. Like if I find my mind spinning, go get a wooden block about it. I love that. I can go right into a pain sense in the body sense, and have the emotional energy active at the same time. And ooh, it's wonderful. You learn to appreciate these triggers. You have fun with them. It's kind of like a little game you can play with them. It's all willingness, a game of willingness. All right, if anyone has any questions, let me know. I am looking at a pretty low battery right now, but it is already, I'll probably be able to go like another 20 to 30 minutes. I'll probably get really close up till 5 o'clock, actually. We'll see how it goes. Thank you for talking about the sensitivity around the body dying. I have the same sense and felt guilty for not caring enough. Yes, exactly. There's how there's kind of like a sense of obligation, like when you go to a funeral or something, that you're supposed to be a certain way. I love to play with that energy, because this sense that you're supposed to be sad about bodies dying is what makes the illusion of bodies dying. See, that's how it gets hidden, because there's all this guilt being projected, and everyone's projecting the guilt onto themselves. It's like, can you laugh and have fun at a funeral? It's like, I don't know. Next time you find yourself at a funeral, maybe just ask yourself that and see if you could be open to it. And it's really just an energy that you sense where there's an opening, to kind of like demonstrate, like, this is okay. Like, this is okay without offending. And the reason why that's a delicate thing is because it's all being projected from your own mind. You'll offend yourself, really. If another person gets offended by you, it's just you offending yourself. So work with that energy. When you start to notice a fear coming up, you be willing to surrender the thought that's justifying that fear, so that you can be in the moment and be present to whatever might play out of you. It might be like really like making light of this whole death thing. When you perceive in your dream that everyone's making light of the death thing, you are like about ready to wake up any second, because that's the end of it. You're not, when we're not crying over death, there's no more death. It's just that we cry over it. We make it into a thing. We make it into a loss. It's not a loss. They were not really here in the first place like that. You painted a picture. Their apparent dying is even meant to wake you up. It's such a blessing. Okay. Yeah. And you know, the ego hears something like that and it's like all of a sudden you're a murderer, like you want to, you know, it's a total affront, and it's set up like that on purpose, because this is the death of the ego. Once you're willing to see death as nothing, that's the death of the ego. Huh? Yay, I love you. Thank you for coming on, Kyle. Even the fear of your own body dying or being incapacitated or deformed or something like that. It's like whatever it is, whatever's given you, you know, I could say mine's deformed too, because I feel like the whole thing's twisted, especially like right over here, this shoulder and chest and rib cage and everything just feels like it's all twisted. And you know, I like to spend time feeling like I'm untwisting it. It's fun. But I know that it's twisted. It's being twisted is a blessing. You know, if it wasn't twisted, I wouldn't have the experiences that I need for awakening. It's always bringing me right to the experiences that I need for the awakening. That's why it was so natural for me as soon as I fell off that mini 5-foot cliff to be thank you. Just go straight to gratitude upon impact, because I know how things are, and anything that's given me or anyone else that I have a perception of is only given because it has maximal healing potential. So I'm super excited about everything that occurs. It doesn't matter if it seems like it's crazy. I just don't start questioning myself about it. Like, how did you get to that? Or what did you know, just rest in awareness and forgiveness of anything that seems like it's a reason to be tense, like it's a reason to build any tension. And that's how the healing comes through. If anyone wants to know what I'm smelling today, it is frankincense reveille from Miracle Botanicals, and that is my essential oil line. This is one of 10 different kinds of frankincense. So you guys can check it out, miraclebotanicals.com. We source the best stuff. That's one thing that's been consistent the whole time. I haven't been consistent communicating with you guys via email, but I started doing that again. I'm enjoying it very much. So if you've been on our email and you stopped getting them, it's probably because it started going to your junk because it started getting boring. But I'm back and I'm talking to you again. So come on there and say hi to me. You can reply to the emails that I send, and you can tell me how awesome they are. You can tell me I made a typo or something. I don't know. Miraclebotanicals.com for that kind of stuff, you guys. One thing I love about essential oils, you know, we were just talking about how you can use something like sparkling water, for instance, to signify to your mind that, oh, I'm in a tailspin right now and I need help, right? Essential oils, that's what I used. That's how I did it. I went through a total phase where I needed something constantly. I was like you, Cora. It was like I saw that I was just so freaking mean to myself, like all day long. There wasn't a nice part of myself in there. It was like, where's the sweetness? I had essential oils and I would just smell them. I would just go and inhale them. Because whatever you're thinking, if you're thinking against yourself, that gets suspended momentarily. You know, and an essential oil on a vibrational scale vibrates way higher than a human body, which is basically indicative of the thought patterns that project an essential oil are vibrating more toward love. See, so it's like they have a communication for you. They actually have a communication for you because they are they're wise. Let's say that they're wise beyond what someone who's associated with an ego can comprehend. They're not associated with ego. So I love you, everyone. I'm getting the sense that I'm complete, but I'll wait a moment in case anyone has any questions or something else pops up. Okay. So I won't be at Hawaiian Sanctuary this coming Friday because I'm still going to be here. I love you, Akea. Thank you for coming on, honey. You're in the bath? Oh, good. I'm glad you're listening in from the bath, honey. You're awesome. Thanks for sharing that dream. Oh yeah, Akea had an awesome dream. Let me check that out again. Wow, had a lot of text since then. So Akea had a dream that her dad was being really mean. That's Tony. Her dad was being really mean. And I was right there. And Akea kept on looking at me, wanting me to do something. But she knew I wouldn't do anything. Even in her dream, she's like, okay, I know she's not going to do anything. So he kept being mean and I got really upset. And he stuck his foot in my face and walked away. Then I went to you, that's her going to me, and told you that he wasn't my dad anymore. And you said, good, you're using that for healing. You meant it and I understood it, that he's not my dad, he's me. And I said, no, I'm using it to be sad. And you smiled at me. Then I woke up crying and it was awesome. Akea, that is an awesome dream. It's like you go through your patterns right in your dream. You've told me before about dreams that you've had where like you bust through a pattern of being afraid of me being disappointed in you. Yeah. I don't know if you're done with that pattern now. I guess you can let me know, but I know that came up when we were in Las Vegas. You're really scared that I was going to be disappointed with you. You got this sense like, and it seemed like, you know, the way you were shaking and stuff, it was kind of like it was the end of your world if I got disappointed with you. And it was really fun. I was high. Yeah. You were high. It was like 7 a.m. So the shaking was from that. Okay. Yeah. And I got to say, that was after you had a dream. It was probably years after you had a dream where I was disappointed with you in your dream. I was disappointed with you in your dream. Yeah, the emotions get extreme, but it's not really from being high. It only seems like that. So anyways, I was disappointed with you in that dream and you said something like, Mom, you can't do that in your dream. You remember that? You related that dream to me. You said, Mom, you can't do that. And then I was like, oh yeah. And then you realized, oh yeah, she's not going to get disappointed in me anymore. But then years later, there was a sense, yes, you were high. So, you know, sometimes that's what it takes to bring it out. And, you know, even being high, even finding yourself high, which is impossible, really, it's just an interpretation, is there for maximum healing potential. You still remember it very clearly. Nice, nice. So do you feel like do you feel like there's still any fear of me being disappointed in you, or can you take me being disappointed? Can you take the perception of me being disappointed in you? Like, do you feel like you're relying on the fact that I will know that disappointment is a lie, or could you take getting a perception that I'm disappointed in you yet? What do you think? Not that that might happen. I don't know. I doubt it. Not that that might happen. Put me on. Okay, she wants to be on. Let's put you on. You want to be on camera? I think I activated camera again.
No, I'm naked.
Okay. Well, my Mac's gonna sleep, so you got to make it fast.
What'd you say?
My Mac's about to sleep. I just got the message that it's about to sleep.
Oh, okay.
It's at 10% right now. So I might just go off, you guys. So just be like, fair warning. Go ahead, Akea.
So not really on like the surface where I feel like you're going to be disappointed in me or like scared of that.
Yeah.
But it's really just the disappointment in myself, because even if you did it, it's not doing it. I'd have to believe it. And
exactly. So do you think that at this point, I mean, who knows, but it's just for shits and giggles, you would be able to show compassion for me if I looked like I was disappointed with you, just for the fact that I'm suffering in that moment?
I don't know what would happen in the moment.
Oh, interesting, huh?
Yeah, that'd be fun though.
Because that's really what it is. If I look disappointed with you, I need compassion.
That's what I did in that dream.
Oh, because nice.
You were, Dad was behind you yelling and like freaking out. And then you were looking in my eyes. You were sitting across from me and you looked at me and said, Akea, I am so disappointed in you. And I was like, I looked at you and I grabbed your hand and I was like, but Mom, you know that that's not true. And you were like, oh yeah.
That's how it went. That's a good dream.
Yeah.
I love it.
That's like with me with myself.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
I made you up in that dream and in this dream, I guess too, but
yeah, that's right. You're making me up in this dream too. And so like as a little kid, the way you trained yourself with me is that my approval of you was like the ultimate thing, and then you weren't getting it.
Right. Right. But isn't it awesome that like the like the one that's the like the teacher and the guide in my dreams is always Mom.
I know, that's so sweet, honey, but it's really cute.
I love it.
I love it too. I love pretending to be your mom. It's a fun daughter to have. Nael said you're awesome. I don't know if you noticed.
Oh, thank you. You're awesome.
I don't know if you met him before, but they've
been in Vegas.
Oh, right. You met him in Vegas. That's right. We're going to be back in Vegas again, Nael. Me and Akea, and Bron's going to be with us too. We're all going to be back in Vegas. Akea and I, me, Akea, Bron, and Akea's boyfriend Kana, we're all flying to Vegas September 15th.
He said, let's do it.
What?
He said, let's do it.
Yeah, I know. They'll be over there. They know how to travel around. Now Gail too. Hi, Gail. Who's that? Oh, this is Akea. She's on with some dialogues with me.
Hi, Gail.
I know.
Hey, Akea, 1 sec.
Gail's got the iWatch, so she just gets calls and she's like answering her wrist.
Oh, awesome.
I know, she's so fun. Yeah, thanks, Akea. That's awesome. Thank you for sharing that with us.
Yeah, and the dream that I texted you about, that one was really cool because, well, I've been doing block therapy, right? And so I went to, I'm doing more now, but for like a week there, I was just doing the belly position, and I actually stopped eating. So I'm just having raw eggs and broth because my tummy is like no on food.
That's what happened with me too. That's perfect.
and tummy position will get really intense, but I'll be on it for like, I don't know, I think the longest was like 10 minutes with it on the tummy position.
Oh, that's pretty long.
It gets deeper every time, and sometimes I cry. There's just a lot of emotion in there.
Yeah, they're talking about the block.
Are you talking about the block?
Yes.
We love our blog.
We're blockheads.
We are. We are, man. That's amazing. Yeah, there's all kinds of emotional stuff projected. It's projected onto the body sense, and it's a trip because it seems like it's a real sense, like it's sitting there looking like it's aging and stuff. That's all we're projecting, the whole thing. And by approaching the pain like this, we're actually being able to see through it. We're being able to see through the mind that's projecting this stuff. I freaking love it. And I'm sure we're just, it's not like this is the thing. It's the thing for now, for the moment, for me and whoever else is into it. But I'm sure it's just like a stepping stone too. Like it gets better than this, It's like Block Asana. Yep. Oh yeah, blockasana.com. Let me see if it works, because I set it up so it would redirect right to my let me see. I'll be able to talk as soon as I do this. Right to my playlist on YouTube. Does it do it? No. Why is it not doing it? Okay, I gotta find out why it doesn't do it. But it will be blockasana.com. After I get tech support from GoDaddy or something, it will be going right to that playlist where all my, and I just did another one. I just did Waist Wisdom. I don't know if you saw that. WAIST Wisdom.
Yeah,
Yeah. Did you get it? Did you see it?
I saw it. I haven't done it yet.
Okay, cool.
But I will do it this week.
Sweet. It's an hour-long one. So check that out. All right, Nael, I'm going to get to this quick because now I'm down 5%. Just went from 10% to 5% that fast. My youngest son had a dream where he hated me and wanted to kick my ass. I told him, man, I'm sorry if I fucked up as a dad. I hoped you kicked my ass in the dream. You want to kick my ass now? He said, no, I just did not know why. He just wanted to kick his ass. And that's why, Niall. That's why he wanted to kick your ass. He thought you fucked up. You just projected the whole scenario because you thought you fucked it up. So common for us to think we fuck it up as parents too. And then, on top of that, we get children that project too, that you fucked it up. Akea was really sweet though. And, she was one of the ones that she, me and Tony, we really thought we were going to do a really good job with Akea and make her the best fucking person to ever walk the earth. And we sent her to private school. We disciplined the fuck out of her. We made sure she did her homework. I made sure she wasn't wearing short skirts. I got all up in her business. I got all into all the stuff she was in, made sure she was being good and stuff. And that was hard. That was hard. And Akea, she never seemed to hold it against me. She was just always like, oh, I'm glad you woke up. Is that what your take on it too, Akea? So you're like, I'm just glad that you woke up, Mom.
I knew when that was happening, I was like, man, I wish I was like, there's an older version of myself that really wants to come and talk to you guys and tell you that what you're doing is not the right thing to do, but I don't know how to explain it yet.
Yeah. That's awesome. Yeah, but then on the other hand, it was right for all of us too.
Yeah.
On the other hand, it's just that
I think it was just my mind knowing that there was, there's a better way.
Yeah. Well, there's delusion, there's suffering. When you're a kid, you can see the suffering that's going on in the adults. I know. Right. I noticed that too when I was a kid and my parents. You see that. You notice the suffering because you don't have it yet. You haven't accumulated it yet.
Right.
Your youngest son listens to Wisdom Dialogues on the regular. What's his name? What son is that, Niall? He's young too. He's probably only like 20. Yeah, definitely. I have some 20-year-olds and younger that like to listen. Not too many of them, but definitely. Oh, Aldrich. Oh, and he's going to be a dad too. Right. You talked to me about him. How sweet. Aloha, Aldrich. I love you. Thank you. Thank you for following. Yay. Okay, so I'm going to go because I'm down to 3%. And I love you guys so much. Thank you for coming on. Thank you, Akea. Thank you. everyone. I love you. And until next week, but not this week in person. In person, I won't be there. The following week, I will be there in person. Okay. I love you so much. Mahalo, aloha, and a hui ho.